ownership means when it comes from a B-boy and B-girl perspective, right? Because no one really taught or no one really like guide the new generation of what it is, right? We just so into like battling and training, and that's dope. That's the cultural side, right? That's always this. We gotta have that balance. It's a cultural side, but this talk right here is about the business aspect of it, right? Everything. If you're looking for like principle, tradition, talk, and all that in this talk, like that's not gonna happen. I'm not gonna talk about the ciphers. I'm not gonna talk about, like you gotta dress fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, all that is on another topic, But this conversation is more of on a business aspect, getting the B-boys and B-girls more of that mentality of entrepreneurship, right? And so we want to kind of like bring that awareness and kind of push that, because it's very important, because the Youth Olympic is coming up, hey, jams, sponsorship, everything. Like it's an exciting time right now in the scene. And either for us to, I'll say to be educated, right, in those perspectives, rather than, hey, go train and then get used, right? That's not like we learn a lot from our elders. So now we gotta utilize our platform to educate the next generation, right? Because the next generation, they gotta carry on tradition, be innovative, be creative, what have you, and at the same time, know their business, right? So this topic here is just about the business aspect of the game. So if you're not into the business aspect and you just want to dance and hobby, just go to the club and this is not for you, right? This is just, hey, this is all serious breakers that really want to understand what's in the game right now, and how you can turn, your followers or what have you into a dollar value, right? And get an ROI of your hard work. Like we train like so much, right? And so we want to learn from our elders what they didn't do, right? So go ahead, Dyzee. The mic is yours. So what is taking ownership means?
Okay, so taking ownership is there's different levels to that, right?
Right.
And for me, taking ownership means to be to run this yourself. You want to be a B-boy, you want to and you want to be a pro B-boy, you want to make a living, you want to make money, then you got to take ownership of your own, not just your own business, but you got to take ownership of of the culture too. We got to take ownership of the culture, because what's going on is I'm not hating on what the entire culture, man. I love Breakin. I'm talking about the industry side of it. It's event organizers, right? They organize events, and it's great. It's good. It's good for the culture. It brings everybody together. But in the end, the organizer either loses money, and most organizers do, especially if you come from a place where you're like, I just want to help the community. I'm not here to make money. I just want to do something dope. So usually you don't make money if you have that kind of mindset, right? Because you're like, okay, no, we need to get the best guy. We need to pay him the right way. We need to we need to put a cash prize. When you're thinking from the sense of a B-boy, then you're not going to be a great businessman, right? Because you're going to be that's the reason why the best events, majority of the best events are thrown by non-B-boys, right?
Right.
Because they spend all their time, instead of practicing and breaking, they spend all their time just thinking about business and putting it into their event. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so they understand something. So they know how to make a big event, and in the end, of course, they got to turn out of a profit, or otherwise they wouldn't be doing it every year. Now, if they turn out a profit, I'm not sure, and I can't speculate how much money they make, but they make enough to pay, of course, themselves, which is right, which is good, right? And they make enough to pay, maybe if they have some staff members, or if they're a company, then they can pay the people in their company. You know what I mean? And they should make money. I'm not saying they should do it for free. They should make money. What I'm trying to say is that we need to be not just B-boys, but if we can also organize and sell our own battles, then we can make money too, right? And that's all I'm trying to teach everyone. I'm not trying to kill all the other events. I think all the events are great because we all get together under one roof. We all get to battle and have fun. But there is a way that we can make a living, from dancing, from battling, just by selling what people want to see, our fans want to see, and they want to see us battle. You know what I mean? They want to see us break. So, I grew up just like all of you guys. What made me really, really want to figure out a way that B-boys can make a living is because, coming up, seeing all my favorite crews, my first favorite crew was Rocksteady, and then all the crews that were in our generation, like Skill Methods, Massive Monkeys, crews even crews from my city, Bag of Tricks, Boogie Brats, all the dopest crews, Ground Zero. I can't name everybody, but all the dopest B-boys we were all battling each other. It was the most funnest time of my life. But you notice that one by one, eventually, every crew starts to disappear. You know what I mean? And that's a killer. You know what I mean? Why is every crew that's winning these battles one day, they're man, these guys are on top. I'm gonna bring in another example is Predators. One day Predators wins Battle of the Year and all these big battles. A few years later, they're gone. Right? Why is that? Right? Why is that? Why do they have to why do we have to disappear after a while? And you would think that most B-boys, they think that yo, you know what? If I train hard, I battle hard, once we get to the top, it's going to be good, I'm going to be traveling, battling, judging, things are going to be good. But the truth is that it's not, right? It's not going to be like that. There's always going to be some young crew or young B-boy that's going to take your spot, that's going to do it for half your price. You know what I mean? And eventually, when everyone's seen your stuff, you're not going to be invited like you used to be back in the day. Promoters, they're going to be well, everyone's seen this crew kill it and they've seen all your moves. Now it's time to replace them with a young guy who can do your moves. You know what I mean? But
I'm going to play devil advocate here, right? Because this is a conversation that we need to have, and this is not. Remember, this conversation shouldn't be about hey, promoter shouldn't be doing this or that.
No.
We want to reemphasize that we need promoters. We need the infrastructure that's going on right now, the ecosystem that's going on. Because without that, we're the product, and we can't display that product somewhere, right? And so it's great to have the infrastructure, but this is just another mindset, right? To say, hey, there is other approaches as well. Yeah. At the same time, you can do all this battle, but there is another approach to get money for yourself. And and ownership is all about control of revenue stream. That's a business. I'm giving y'all gems right now. Ownership is about controlling your revenue stream. If you can't control your revenue stream, that means somebody else is controlling it, right? So as a B-boy and B-girl, how can you create that revenue stream for yourself? And basically can say, I have data to back it up. This month I made $4,000 for my product alone. That's what I'm saying. This conversation is about that. It's about implementing that awareness into B-boys and B-girls to level up on that entrepreneurship type deal. Because once you control the revenue stream for yourself and your crew, or you feed your family, right? And so I think that's the conversation here, because hey, promoters, they're controlling the revenue because they're businessmen. They understand the business aspect. So as B-boys, we need to educate ourselves in the business aspect and do the same. And so at the same time, it's the best of both worlds, right? Everybody's eating, right? So we can't knock the promoters, in that essence of, well, they're doing, all the stuff and they're getting all the money. Well, of course, because they spent times and hours of trying to.
They're doing the business side of it.
Right, coming up with a business plan to make their event work, right? So they put times and hours. I'm sure they have a business team and all that, and that's why the revenue is, they're able to control, their revenue, right? And for B-boys and B-girls, you got to educate yourself on the business aspect so you can control your revenue as well. And it's not just going to battle. It's about owning what's your assets. What is your asset? Ask every B-boy right now, the big heavy hitters, what are your assets?
Yeah.
I would hope they would say, my biggest asset would be myself, right? Because that's the product itself, right? So that's like the Dyzee name or the K-Mel or you name it. Any big B-boys going on right now, Pocket, what have you. You name it. That's your name, whatever you put out on a battlefield, that's your product. And on top of that, you can create revenue off your product, like a line of products, right? Videos, shirts, hats, subscriber, build your subscribers. And there's so many stuff that you can do with your supporters and followers, that just mind blowing, because in the 90s, I remember coming up, it's Wiggles that kind of like taught me, that implemented that seed in me, right? Because at first I was just like everybody else is like, you just want to train, battle, cypher, call people out, what have you, right? Like that's trying to get that street respect, right? Like trying to get your name out. But like I read this article, Wiggles is like, at the same time, know your artist value, right? Know that, hey, there's a value of all that time that you put in work in the basement or in the lab. It's got to have a return of investment somehow, right? like a promoter's booking you, or not just. And I'm not talking about B-Boy Jam. I'm talking about events or concerts and commercials and what have you, right? You got to know how to negotiate or know your artist's worth, We want to emphasize this conversation is about the mindset of B-Boy and B-Girl on a business aspect. Promoters, the infrastructure that's going on right now, we need that. The ecosystem, that's, shouts to all the, all the big events out there, you know what I mean? So let's talk about how the B-Boys and B-Girls can utilize and what they have and their fans, right? So go ahead.
So one of the things that I realized, right, that I learned after all these years after everything that I did in terms of battling, traveling, judging, being invited for a long time, even just like organizing R16 and everything, is that like even after all of these things, I came to a place where I realized like that we're doing something wrong. You know what I mean? Like what are we doing wrong? Like why is, rappers, they make tons of money, right? Everyone knows that. Now
right.
DJs make tons of money too. Like they're making crazy money as well. Like if you look up how much DJ Premier is worth, he's worth like 20 million or something like that. Like they're worth these DJs have found a way. And just recently, graffiti writers are now making even people that you've never even heard of, but they're worth millions of dollars too, right? Like they found a way. And when I learned this one thing, it totally just changed my mind. It opened up my mind so much to be like, man, we are dumb. Like B-boys we don't understand this at all. And that's all. This is this is a gem here. This is that all professional things in the world, okay? All celebrities, in terms of like athletes, artists, entertainers, or whatever, they all know that everything, their whole livelihood, who they are, it all matters on their ability to make fans, on fans. Fans is basically what they're selling. You know what I mean? Their viewership. You know what I mean? Like they're using their art to make fans, and it's those fans that make them money. Now B-boys, we always treat fans, like especially me, I treated my fans, especially in Toronto, like garbage, right? They were like, young guys are like, yo, oh man, Dyzee, and oh man, you're so cool, yeah, like I want to come watch your battles, and I'd just be like, what? Like, what are you? gay? Like, that's the way that I treated them. The smartest way that I could have done has been like, yeah, you know what? I got a battle coming up against this guy, and it's gonna be on this date. You know what I mean? And here, why don't you sign up for my thing? I'll send you an email every month to let you know what's going down. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's what it means to build fans. You know what I mean? And so when I found this out, I spent days just putting together this, really studying how sports, how all art, like celebrities, how they, you think that the way that we think our fans are just people that like us a lot, but it's more than that. Okay, those are followers. Okay, followers doesn't necessarily mean they're real fans. Okay,
right.
I mean someone that follows your stuff and looks at what you do and goes, yeah. But a real fan is someone that wants to support you. You know, they're like your supporter. That means they will pay money to support you because they want to live their dreams through you. Because a lot of people who are fans don't, they don't have something going on in their life. It's like they work, all day. They have kids. They can't do anything else. And in the short time that they have free time, they want to escape and they want to watch someone like you do it the best and live their dreams through you, and they want to support you. They literally do. So followers and fans are different from each other. Okay, you can have 1 million followers on Facebook. Doesn't mean that they're fans who are going to be people who are going to pay anything for you.
Of course.
There's a lot of girls who do one of these, they'll give you one of those, pulling the shirt down, you know what I mean? And they got millions of followers, but not real fans, okay? Now fans, the way that if I was to do this over again, if I was going to be young and battling again, if I was anybody out there right now, I would do this. I would be like, I would first find out where my target, who are my target market. Okay, meaning who are the people that would want to follow me, that would want to support me. And once they would want to support you, the question is, how are you going to monetize that? How are you going to, like you said, control the revenue stream? How are you going to do that, right? So right now, B-boys, we don't think like that. We just say, hey, there's a jam, a B-boy jam. I'm going to go enter the B-boy jam. How many fans would you bring there? Okay, if you were going to bring your mom and your aunt, technically your family and your friends are your first group of fans, right?
Of course.
They technically are. They should. If your own mom, your girlfriend, and your friends and all the people, if they're not willing to come watch you battle, then you're probably not that good.
Right.
You know what I mean? But if you're good, and you're winning battles, your family and your friends and everyone will be like, yo, I want to come see you battle. Now the problem is, if you bring them to a jam, they're not going to have a good time. Why? Because jams aren't really good for like spectators, for fans. They're not good for your fans. They're going to come, they're going to stand around for like 5 or 6 hours. They don't have a seat. So they got to they're standing around a cypher, like trying to, Filipino moms are really short. So they got to look over some tall people. They can't, nobody can see what's going on in the battles. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can't, and even if your fans come to watch you in a battle, you're not monetizing it. What's happening is you're making the organizer make money. Now, if you are the best, if you or your crew is the best in your city, and everybody in your city knows it, and everyone in your city, a lot of people in your city support you, like, Supernaturalz, we had a lot of enemies, but we had also a lot of followers in Toronto. If I was smart in those days, and I'm kicking myself in the butt because my mother had a banquet hall and I didn't use it, I threw jams, and the jams are awesome, but if I also, not just threw jams, but threw a main event where it was just, when the Supernaturalz was at its best, and we invited down squads like Motion Disorders and did a full 1 hour battle to the finish. Because back in the days, battles were 1 hour, right? If you can't battle an hour, then you really don't have that much.
Arsenal-wise, you whack.
Arsenal-wise, you got to be able to battle long, right? You have to expect it to go long, right? And so imagine that's what people wanted to see back in the day. They wanted to see people go the distance, because back in the day when you battled someone for an hour, it wasn't it was his day or my day. After that battle, you were put in your place. You were put in your rank. You were either, okay, we know I'm over here over you, or okay, I'm under here and under you, and I got to train, and everyone knows it. Right? There was a winner and loser, right? Even though there was some people say, okay, well, they won in this aspect and he won in that aspect, but you know what I mean? But in the end, if someone was crying, or you could see it in someone's face how the battle was ended, you know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
So what we want to do is we want to recreate that. We want to recreate if you can recreate that, if you are the best in your city or the best B-boy, set up your own event, right? Make a nice long battle with somebody else, pay that guy, or do a profit share, a split share. You know what I mean? Throw that jam yourself. If you're two best crews in the city, you're one best crew, another best crew, throw the biggest battle to see who is the best in that city and invite everybody. You'll see, think about this. If a ticket is $20 and 500 people come, that's $10,000. You know what I mean? Right?
Yep.
And then, so this kind of opens up your mind to being like, hey, your crew can do this, not just, an organizer. It's time that we as B-boys literally take ownership of our own thing. You know what I mean? And sell our own battles. You know what I mean? Rather than have other people sell it for you and utilize all your fans. You know what I mean?
Right. So, basically, entrepreneurship type mindset. Right?
Exactly.
So we have some people here, they're saying, hey, okay, product-wise, okay, Wanda said, okay, DJ that have product, graffiti artists that have product, MC that have the rap album, right? So for me, in my opinion, B-boy, the B-boy themselves is the product, right? Your name, how you battle, your whole character, and just flamboyant, because at the end of the day, you got to market yourself, right? So the bigger asset that you have yourself is the product, right? And then out of that, that's how you got to train hard, and you got to battle the best of the best and get your name out there, right? So now your name, you're like a walking billboard, right? Everywhere. You're a walking billboard in the flesh. You go to jams, or when people see you on a flyer, they want to come see that product, right? They want to see in action. So you're yourself a product, and on top of that, you can create product for your own, because your name is so big, that you can create your own hats, your own t-shirt. I remember in the 90s, Cash was just making DVDs all over. That was the big explosion of entrepreneurship on the B-boy aspect, right?
Yeah.
Every crew, like Style Elements, they were making DVDs, and you had the Remind solo DVD, you got Nest Blueprint DVD, you got Wiggles. Wiggles is unstoppable on that hustling tip. Rocksteady had their own DVD, Ken Swift, you name it. Every artist, every B-boy was creating their own content. Nowadays, we don't create your own content no more. You let other people create. There's nothing wrong with that, because in a way, that's marketing for yourself. That's free marketing for yourself. But at the same time, you got to control your revenue stream. It comes back to that. That's ownership. Controlling your revenue stream and able to have data to back it up, right? So yourself is your own product. You got to create your line of products and services. Services meaning you can go to workshop, judging, teacher choreography, what have you. That's the services that you can give, right? At the same time, you gotta understand there's a line of product that you can create. You know what I'm saying? And let's talk numbers, right? So just say somebody had 20,000 followers, and just say only 1,000 of them, your true supporters, will buy something, right? Only 1,000. Now, your goal is just like, I got to get this 1,000 just to buy off me $50 of products. Bro, that's $50,000, bro. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, you got 20,000 followers, but your goal is, it takes business aspect to focus on the sales and all that. Like, let's get 1,000 people this year, this whole year. I want to make it $50,000 this year, right? So let's key in on 1,000 people, and you got to do your research. Like, it's not just like, oh, I'm going to do this and be good. Like, no, it's hard work. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not just, it's hard work, man. You know, so you got to get your numbers and then say, hey, you know what? I want to get 1,000 people just to buy $50, worth of my product this year. Just 1,000 people out of 20,000 people. I just want, 1,000. Bro,
Yeah.
$50
So
times 1,000, that's $50,000 off the rip.
Yeah.
That you never had before.
So let me chime in, right? So it's like, exactly, right? Like, so what we did, right? I moved to Taiwan because I wanted to start this thing off there. And when I first went there, and I first, like the reason, like I've always been talking about the plan that I was going to do it, and I was ready to move back to Toronto, right? I was ready. I was like, okay, I'm going to do this in Toronto. I already have the plan. I know what I'm going to do. And then I started talking to these guys from Taiwan, right? And they were like, look, I know, I got an investor that might be interested in talking about it, you know what I mean? And there's the Crew Dream Runners. So I was like, okay, let me go have a meeting and we'll talk. And when I first talked to this investor, okay, the investor was like, this will not work. Okay, you know what I mean? Like, there's no way that, people are going to become fans of breaking, of b-boying. It's not going to happen. Like, people don't understand what it's going to go on and they're not going to get it. And so I said, okay, give us a shot. So in this investor has one of those big social clubs. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like those the rich men social clubs. And it was like it's kind of like where some other big businessmen and governors and stuff like that, and like city politicians, they go and they eat dinner together and have it's a social club for rich men. And so we were able to get a small tiny budget from them, and we said, hey, let's do a battle for them, right? Like let's show them the battle. Okay, there was only 100 people in there. It was a dinners, right? Everyone was sitting down having a dinner. And they were like, no, I don't think this is going to work. And they were like, can you just make the battle 30 minutes? An hour is too long. I said, you want only 30 minutes? Fine. So we invited this other city. Okay, the city that we're in, we only have, there's only 300,000 people that live there. That's it. Okay, it's a small ass city. Sports has failed there and everything. So we brought the team. The team is like, they're well known in the city because they battled, they won some big jams. They were on TV a few times. And we invited the next city. A city that already has 2 million people, and they invited this crew. You guys might know them. They're called. They used to be called Double Kill. They're famous for the battle when they defeated Skill Brat Renegades at Freestyle Session. Those guys, right? And so they came with their whole squad, and they battled, and we battled, and we had everything set. We had the hour system, like we had things so that the audience, and the way that we sold the battle was these two cities are battling just to prove which one is better. And we really played on the whole, this city's coming to challenge us. Everything from how they stood and they looked at each other, everything was we really kind of like Mayweather and McGregor styles sold this battle. And at the end, all the businessmen were standing up, clapping, they were like, why was it too short? Why is it only 30 minutes? And that's my only point for that day was to prove that these people who know nothing about breaking, who know nothing about breaking, they're not b-boys, but I wanted to prove that they can have a connection with the b-boys, with the dancers. And the connection would be that these b-boys rep their city. It's their people, it's their b-boys. And so they were so proud. And that's when we got government funding, right? To just enough to pay for a big venue at the next venue and sell tickets. Okay. So the second battle, I was like, okay, I'm going to prove that we can fill this place. Okay. That's it. It wasn't to make money. It was just to fill the place, show that we can sell tickets. And they were like, you know what? We don't know if we can sell the tickets, no one's going to come. The first time it was private. This time, the Dream Runners was like, don't worry. And I'm like, don't worry. I'm going to prove that we can sell tickets and we can make fans. And they were like, no way. There's no such thing. And I was like, just watch. So we did the same thing. We did a lot of trash talking online. It was against Tainan City. Tainan is the closest city to Chiayi City. And Tainan and Chiayi, they always beef about who's got better girls, who's got better food. Right. So they naturally have a natural beef, right? So we sold this battle to the people. we had a bunch of kids started like talking crap about like, you know, back and forth, and it went viral because you have these young kids going, F these guys, F this, you know, our city's gonna smoke them. It was like that. It went viral. Everyone was like, why are these kids talking with such bad language? You know what I mean? But it really helped to sell tickets, right?
Right.
So the day of, they said, okay, only 200, the 200 tickets are only gonna sell. They put up tickets on sale, 300 tickets sold out, right? And they were like, okay, next day we'll put another 100 tickets. They released 100 tickets, sold out right away. The day of, 600 people came, right? It was like completely packed and everything like that. And at the end of the battle, I told them, look, we got to set up these tables for your fans. And they were like, what fans? What do you mean fans? Like they didn't get what I meant. And I said, trust me, we put up these tables. I said, okay, after this battle, the host is going to say, if you want to meet Dream Runners, and this is only if Dream Runners wins, right? If you want to meet Dream Runners, please go down over there into the booth. As soon as Dream Runners won, everyone was screaming, they were yelling, they were like girls were like bringing signs. The moment the battle was done and the host said, do it, everybody, the whole place ran up, and the lineup for autographs were like, and signatures were like 2 hours of people lining up.
Right.
That is the first time that everyone was like, yo, this can actually be something. Okay, this can actually be something. So this is where we got way more sponsorships, way more government funding. Government loves this. They're like, wow, these are great role models. There's so many people, so many fans. Like they can see that that you're able to build a real following, not just followers on your Instagram, but real fans. Real fans. So the third one, we moved to a smaller venue, but it was inside the most prestigious hotel in the city. And this time we were like, okay, we're going to sell every ticket. No discounts, no free tickets. We're going to just sell it. And they're like, no, I don't think so, okay? Because people only make about $200 to $300 a month in Taiwan. The ticket is $20, and the VIP seats are $100 US, right? And they only make 300, like, you know? They were like, there's no way. And what do you know? In less than a few days, everything sold out. Right? Same thing, sold out. And that's when we first made a big chunk of money. You know what I mean? And from there, that's when I said, hey, yo, everyone can do this. Like, it's not as hard as everybody thinks. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's not hard. Right? We're not selling to, like, I see, like, Atomic Goofball, he said, oh, yeah, like, B-boys don't want to pay. And you're right. B-boys don't want to pay. Because B-boys do
That's not your target market. That should be your target market. Right.
No, it's the general audience that want to watch breaking. People, you don't understand how many people love breaking. Red Bull, the BC one, like they make most of their views off breaking. You know, more than like skateboarding, more than everything else. That's the reason why. But you know what? They spend less money on breaking than they spend on everything else. You know what I mean? Like, well, actually, they spend a lot.
Well, because B-boys and B-girls sign over the rights, you know, and they should get paid for those type of deal, you know.
Exactly.
And that's why I always been an advocate to kind of like, I'm sure you see my posts, hey, you know your rights. And when they sign that, hey, can you sign a release? Like, what does this imply? You know, why are you having me sign this? You know, just ask them questions. Be professional about it. Don't be like, yo, fuck this and that. Nobody want to work with, you know. And again, you got to be a true professional. You know, if you want to be a pro B-boy and B-girl, you got to be professional. All of us came from the streets, but man, you got to grow out of that shit. You know what I'm saying? There's time and place for everything. You know what I'm saying? And as you grow, you got to be professional, especially when it comes to business, you know? And so if Red Bull comes to you, ask, hey, what kind of rights am I signing off, you know? And hey, can I get a fees for signing off my rights, you know? It's called media rights, you know? You can ask for fees, you know? So that, I've been trying to tell cats, like, hey, you know, have that ownership mindset. Like, you're your own company, and somebody want to grab your product for free, right? You're a product. Someone want to, like Red Bull, want to grab you for free, right? And basically use you on their streaming. And from that, they get, you know, revenue off their stream. You know, and so you're over here doing nothing. You training like 30 hours a week, 40, 50 hours a week, sign off their rights, and then they own everything, you know? So, and it comes back to ownership. It's like, hey, it should be about partnership, right? If they come to you and ask, hey, what's this rights? And hey, can I have a non-exclusive rights? Make sure it's not exclusive, because if it's exclusive rights, that means they own everything. And then just say if you have a DVD, you want to use the Red Bull footage. It was like, wait, you making money off our footage? You're like, wait, that's me. Well, guess what? I have the paperwork. We can go to court. You sign the rights and exclusive. They own those rights, right? So B-boys gotta understand, the B-girls gotta understand the non-exclusive and the exclusive rights. What are those mean? So after this conversation, y'all can go Google it. Off the rip, non-exclusive is something that you giving their permission to use your video, your image, yourself in the video live stream, and they can distribute it to their whole, Rebel channel, what have you, right? But then you can use that same videotape, without their permission, right? Because you basically signed that non-exclusive. It's non-exclusive. It's not to them only. Like you're in it, so you can use that footage for marketing purposes, or you have a DVD or whatever you use for marketing purposes for your own platform. You can use those footages, without asking them permission. Now, if they ask you like, hey, no, sign over the exclusive rights, that means, hey, they owns everything. Once they capture yourself in the camera, they own that footage. Even though you say, hey, that's me, guess what? You sign over the rights. I'm sorry. When it comes to business, you gotta be professional. You gotta know your shit. If not, you can argue all day, but when the court documents come, when you go take them to court, I'm sorry, the judgment, I'm sorry, you sign over the rights, So that means, just say you create, you do this, whole battle, right? You marketing this whole battle, right? Between you and another crew. And then in that marketing process, you use one of the Red Bull footage, right? And you get mad money from this battle, right? Red Bull finds out that in that marketing, process, you use their footage. They're like, wait, why are you using our footage to market your battle? Right? Mm-hmm. Because one of the round is you. And you thought, hey, I can use it. But in reality, you signed that exclusive rights. So now Red Bull owns it. They come like, hey, how much do you make off that battle? Mm-hmm. Just say you make $10,000, right? They're going to take you to court. They're like, hey, you know what? We're going to need some of that money because you use our video in your marketing, in your business process. You don't own it. Yeah. But you're like, wait, that's me. Like, no, because you signed exclusive rights. Everything that we captured belongs to us now. I'm sorry, you didn't ask us permission, right? So you gotta be smart, man. You gotta know your shit. I'm telling y'all right now, y'all gotta know your shit, because once all these companies coming in, once the Olympics start coming in, they're gonna want to sponsor the next biggest B-boy, what have you.
Same thing that happened in the 80s.
Same thing happened in the 80s. Learn from our elders, man. Don't be like our elders where they don't have any ownership to those aspects, you know what I mean? Like,
the problem is, bro, is that like there's like some these corporations that do this, right? Like they know that there's always going to be a younger B-boy out there that's going to be like, well, I mean, this guy is causing a lot of trouble. He's asking for a lot of stuff, but this guy over here, this young guy, he really wants it. So yeah, let's just go with the young guy, and so people will get put out that way. And that's kind of like the problem right now, is because this is what's going down, right? Like in the scene, because there's no way to kind of regulate it. So the only way is to educate everybody and say, hey, like, just know when you're getting played. You know what I mean? Like, know when you know what I mean? Like, yeah, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, there's so many things that people can ask for, and just there's nothing wrong with asking. When it comes to being business, being professional, and whatever you're doing, there's nothing wrong with asking, right? Mm-hmm. And so if you're asking to get interviews from just say Red Bull or Nike or Monster or what have you, you can ask, hey, my time for the interview, how much, what's your budget? This negotiation, process with it, and always start high, man. Start high with the range, right? And so they always go, they're always going to go low, and then you meet in the middle somewhere, right? But it's nothing wrong with asking what you value, like how, instead of just, let's do it, like, come on, you got to understand that aspect that you can ask if a company wanted you to, wear the whole suit, like, whether Nike or Pepsi or Coca-Cola or Red Bull, what have you, like, you can have extra fees on top of what you negotiated to say, hey, if you want me to be branded in your, your product line, then talk to my manager, and then the manager or yourself can negotiate, the branding aspect. Okay, the branding fees. Okay, you want him to rock a hat? Okay, that's going to be this much. Oh, you want him rocking a shirt? Oh, it's going to be this much. Oh, a hat and a shirt? Oh, it's going to be this different tier, right?
There's a special technique. There's a special technique for that. So what you do is, like, you tell them, like, right off the bat when they shoot you those questions, you say to them, look, I want to say yes, but, you got to talk to my manager. And you give them an email, and the email is really just you, but you pretend you're somebody else. You pretend you're a manager.
Yeah, you can do that, but you got to understand, like, that's the whole point of taking, you got to change that mindset to being the owner yourself, either you have a manager because you're so busy training, what have you, or you do it yourself, right? Because if you're busy in the lab, your manager can take up that stress for you, right? And so that's what I'm saying. Like, just be aware that you can ask for certain fees. If they wanted you to do a judging demo, that can be a fees on top of just judging, right? How many events? Hey, they wanted you to judge a 1-on-1 and a 2-on-2 and an all-star battle. That's 3 categories. You can charge them. Hey, let's do a package. Instead of individually, let's do a package, and I can charge you. I can do all 3 for this much. It's the services that you give them. So in return, they gotta pay for that services, right? Mm-hmm. And again, come back to that owner mentality. You're a company. Are you giving the services? Are you giving your service away for free to these big corporate companies? Or can you be professional and at least try to meet in the middle so both team can win, right? And again, it's not about, oh, you're whack and I'm good. No, it's not about that. It's about what's fair, right? It comes back to what's fair. And so, so that's the reality of it. Go ahead.
Like, it depends also who you're talking with. Because, like, if you're talking with a company that has a lot of money, you know what I mean, that they have the money, then of course, you can be like, look, like, I know you have the money and this is what it's worth, and to work with your company, this is what I got to do. But if you're talking with, like, some young event promoter who just wants to do something for the community, you know what I mean, that, baked cookies and sold it on the streets in order to pay for, like, this jam, then maybe you might not be like, look,
exactly.
Like, you might be like, look, I give you a community price because, you're a part of the community, and, so I'm giving you this special price.
What I'm talking about is the corporate aspect, and be ready for that, because it's going to come. I'm telling you right now, it's going to get there, because the Youth Olympics coming up, more people are going to see Breakin. You're with the plan. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's an exciting time right now. You got to be ready. Like Wiggles told me, be ready for what's coming up. And so for me, as an educator, in this culture, like, I really want the next generation to understand their ownership, to say, hey, be ready. Be ready for the next big thing that's going to come to you. And there's nothing wrong with being ready, right? There's nothing wrong. That's just extra knowledge that you can apply in your life. Just say, forget Breakin. You quit Breakin, but hey, start a small business. It's the same mindset, right? It's the same mindset. But hey, why not get paid for what you're doing right now? Right? You love Breakin. We all love Breakin. But if a company comes to me, like just say Nike or Coca-Cola or all these big why not, sign a deal with them, but being fair with it as well, right? If they're gonna come to me and say, hey, we'll give you this deal, we'll give you gear and we'll fly you out. No, that's not gonna happen. That's not a fair deal, right? If you're like, So say you're a top 5 B-boy of the world, you're winning championships and all that, and you take that deal, that's like, oh my gosh, you getting played, you know? So
Yeah.
there's multi levels to that process, and I feel like people got to just learn business. Go to the library, open that book, understand the business aspect of entrepreneurship, So, I mean, and again, I'm not talking about just B-boys that's just coming up right now and trying to paying their dues. Yeah, right now, if you're like an upcoming B-boy, pay your dues because you still haven't had that rep yet, right?
Yeah.
What I'm talking about is B-boys getting flown out. They getting a rep. We all know who the heavy hitters are. We don't even have to ask about it. If they walk in a room, we know who it is, right? That's when you made it. That's when you walk in a room, people know a Dyzee. People know, like, oh, that's Ty from Zulu. You know what I'm saying? Oh, okay, like people know who you are. So, like, the top heavy hitters right now, people know who's Rocks Right, Pookie, you name it, Pocket, Box One, more, you name it, Monster B-Boys, the Rebel All-Stars, like the heavy hitters, And so we just gotta, that's who I'm talking to. You know what I'm saying? The heavy hitters. And then of course the next generation gonna be heavy hitters as well. And so be ready, be ready in that aspect of knowing, your rights, knowing the business aspect of it. Be careful when it comes to negotiation and what they're asking for, and again, be fair. You know what I'm saying? It's not like, oh, I'm gonna try to rip them off. Yeah, it's like be fair. You know what I'm saying? Just know your ground. And of course, support the local promoters. Like back to what you're saying is those community supporters, community promoters. Those are the ones that you really want to support. Because they try to get their scene up, in their local community, right? At the end of the day, we have a responsibility too, as B-boys artists, is to say, okay, we do our thing, in a big realm, but hey, you gotta give back in the local community with whatever you're at, right? And so you gotta support your local promoters in, whatever state you're in, your city, what have you. Support them, man. Your tri-state, if you're in New York, hey, if there's a jam in Philly, you from New York, go support them. You know what I'm saying? Like vice versa. Everybody support each other as a wrap. The only time you won't support each other is when you see each other on the battlefield, right? That's when we were like frenemies, right? It's like, yo, Dyzee, if me and you, we good, right? But if you cross me and I'm across you and my crew's behind me, we going to war. But that's the competitive aspect as a B-boy. That's the cultural aspect of it, right? But outside of that, it's like, yo, Dyzee, what you got? I'm going to support you, right? Oh, you got a T-shirt? Yo, how much that's going to be? Yo, boom, right? Vice versa. Everybody support each other, man. That's what it comes down to. Like, that's that's the building blocks. Is everybody supporting each other. We can be mortal rivals on the battlefield, but at the same time, outside the battlefield, it's like, yo, what you got going on? All right, bet. I support you. Just like you had the plan. Yo, we're our crews are rivals. Whenever we see each other, it's on and popping, right? If we see each other on a bracket, what have you, on and popping. But yo, Dyzee, what's up with the plan? All right, let me put you on my platform. It's about support, man. That's all it comes down to. Support your local promoters, support your local B-boys. And know your business when it comes to those big corporate entity.
I think B-boys need to become promoters too. When I say that, I mean like B-boys, we need to learn how to promote our own stuff, how to organize our own things, and organize and promote our own events. Basically, promote our own battles. You know what I mean? Like exhibition battles is like really the future. You know what I mean? That's the reason why, like all like team sports, they all follow that format. They say, hey, we're going to build the team that represents this city, and we're going to go to war with other cities. And what we're selling is not baseball. We're not trying to make millions of dollars by selling baseball bats and, little baseballs and gloves, but they're making millions and millions of dollars by selling unity. That's what they're selling. You know what I mean? Using baseball to bring everybody together, to play 3-4 games a week, filling a stadium of 10,000 people each person paying anywhere from $20 to $80. Everyone buying their merchandise for $50 to $100, buying overpriced hot dogs and and drinks. Why? Because people want to get together and they just want to they want to just feel like they're part of something bigger, and they want to go to war with other places. It's in our nature to go to to war with each other. That's the beauty of hip hop.
And there's nothing wrong with that, right? That's the entertainment aspect of it. That's why fans, like for B-boys, we know what it is, but fans, they don't know. They see this drama and they're just like, oh shit, that's just human nature, y'all. When I see basketball tournament, I use NBA because I'm an NBA fan, or NFL, college football. Yo, them brothers get it in. You know what I'm saying? On the battlefield, it's like it makes the finals or the Super Bowl or what have you more interesting when it comes to that competitive aspect, right? Nowadays, it's not very competitive in the arena of what's going on. Like, I can watch maybe top 8, but I can't watch Breakin for a whole hour, bro. I'm sorry. So that's what I'm saying.
Too much love, man. Too much love. Right. Battles anymore.
So when you have 2 crews going at it, hey, let's bring it. Talk that shit, you know what I'm saying? And bring that skills, because everybody's going to flock to it. That's why MZK, I don't want to boast my crew, right? But come on, let's be real here. That's why people love how MZK battle, and they gravitate, even they love or hate us, bro.
Yeah.
It's still, they still gravitate towards that, because when we go on the battlefield, it's fucking war. You know what I'm saying? Ness is like another person. Me, as a professional, I become another person. I'll talk that shit. You know what I mean? And I'm sure you would do too. Like when you battle, it's like we all do. That's what B-boys and B-girls do. But I feel like with that concept that you have with the 2 crews can be themselves without, repercussion. Whoa, if I act this way, am I going to be, you can be yourself, because the fans will come and watch your shit. Right? They don't care about nobody else, but they like the entertainment aspect of the battle, And so you gotta bring it. We can be raw at the same time. And now it's like fans outside of Breakin buying tickets to watch you battle the way it should be battled. Right? Like that's the greatest concept. Like, you can be raw and everything, and at the same time, the fans is loving it. It's like, damn, that's next level, right?
That's what it's about. Like, you come to a place where in the beginning, when you first start breaking, you're just breaking for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, you just, and there's nothing wrong with that. And then you come to a place where you're going to be like, man, am I breaking just for myself? So you'll probably be breaking, for your crew. You want to contribute to your crew, to your crew's legacy. But in the end, when you want to go pro, you're not breaking just for yourself. You're not breaking for your crew. You're breaking for your city. But you're most of all breaking for your fans, because your fans are the ones who are making you be a professional. You know what I mean? And I just think that every B-boy, it doesn't matter where you are in the world. If you are the best at what you do in your city, and people they recognize you and they respect you, start thinking about this now, about how to really utilize those people who support you in your city, and just show and give them what they want to see. They want to see you. They want to watch you battle against and defend your city. They want to see that, okay? Whether you're a solo B-boy or your crew, and just get the best, either your crew or the best guys in your city, and go to war with other cities. Bring them over, but monetize that, meaning do it yourself. Organize. Pay somebody to organize it for you, and in the end, when I say pay someone, hire an event organizer. Pay him the money just to set up everything. Rent the venue, set the lights. You can be the one to call the shots. Call the shots and call the shots together with the other crew. Choose together the judges, right? You don't if you don't like the judge, choose, agree together who's judging, and trust me, people will rather watch that than go to a tournament. I'm talking about people who don't break. They'd rather come and just see you battle whoever, rather than watch 100 crews and then maybe you lose in the top 16, and they're like, do I stay or do I keep watching? You know what I mean? People want to see you battle. They want to see They just come to only watch their team. You know what I mean? If you're a soccer fan, what would you rather watch? Your team play another team, or watch like 16 different soccer teams from wherever play in a tournament where they play for 5 minutes and then one team gets knocked out, and then, you know, like, no, you don't want to see that. You just only want to see one team. You know what I mean? So I'm just trying to tell you guys this because you can do it too. My crew, the group Dream Runners, I'm not in the crew, but I'm like definitely like, you know, like down with them. You know, they already grossed $140,000 US, and for people who made $200, they made only $200 a month, right? Teaching classes.
Hey, Dyzee, I'm gonna stop you there. The live stream's gonna end in about 20 seconds. I'm gonna come back and add you back, and we're gonna talk about the plan, all right?
Okay,
what
cool,
it is and stuff, and so I'm gonna end this, and then I'm gonna come back live, and I'm gonna re-add you, because I guess Instagram won't let us for an hour, and so, all right, let me come back.
All right, no worries.
Oh God! I'm trying to do the e-battle. Yo, yeah. So let's come back. So that conversation kind of like pushed us towards, you know, the plan, right? And so
yeah.
So I want to ask you, for viewers, what is the plan?